Hey, Glory fans, Todd Grisham here. Got some breaking news for you. With the competitive nature and heavy fights that have taken place in the last heavyweight standing tournament, we've decided to push the finale to early 2026 to create more time for fighters to heal and be in the best condition possible to deliver an amazing finale for you, the fans. Our goal has always been to create the absolute best tournament, and for that to happen, this change is necessary. However, we will still deliver an amazing event at Glory Collision 8, which will remain December 13th at the Heldra. We have built a unique card worthy of the Collision name. We will now deliver the following: 2 heavyweight eliminators for the final 2 wildcard spots, and expect some of the biggest and best heavyweights to participate in that, and a 4-man light heavyweight and welterweight tournament crowning 2 2025 tournament champions, 3 last featherweight standing tournament eliminators, and multiple super fights. Collision 8 will be one of our biggest cards of the year with massive tournament implications. The pre-sale is still open now at glorykickboxing.com and will be going on sale next week. Stay tuned for specific fight announcements beginning tomorrow. With further context, let's bring in Glory CEO Marshall Zelaznik. Marshall, I know this wasn't an easy decision for you. Take us through your thought process.
We anticipated that the schedule we built would allow for fighters to heal, but sometimes the way the schedule works out with where events end up sitting up actually in what point in the month, it just became clearer and clearer that with the kind of fights that the fighters were going through, and in order to give every fighter an equal chance as they entered the tournament, we thought it made sense to move it. Wasn't an easy decision. The great news is we have some really compelling fights and tournaments that we want to put on. We had been thinking about whether we launch those next year, but now we have a chance to do it this year. So we like the position we're in. We like the chance to give the fighters the best chance to compete in the last heavyweight standing in February.
Well, I know that a lot of people will probably be welcoming the fact that, look, 6 of the 8 tournament qualifiers so far had a grueling stretch just to qualify, and then we were going to handpick 2 wildcard spots. Some people said, hey, that's not fair. Well, now it is fair because you have to qualify for those last 2 remaining wildcard spots. I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, that actually was one of the other compelling reasons to sort of push this back. As we built the strategy, if you will, for the tournament, the wild card was always sitting out there. And as we adjusted during the year to account for some of the happenings, you know, the idea of how do you select those wild cards was something we were bouncing around within the leadership team. And we liked the idea of this meritocracy, let the fighters decide. So there are some great fighters that we're in discussion with to get into those 2 eliminators. We've got good headway with some of them. I think the fans will be stoked when we get those fights locked in.
Yeah, I know a lot of people appreciate that we focused on the heavyweights most of this year, but on December 13th, a lot of our other weight classes are going to be featured as well, especially the light heavyweight division. What can you tell us about that?
We were aware, I should say, when we invested so much into the heavyweights that some of the other weight classes wouldn't get the opportunities to fight as often as they'd like. So our ability to deliver this at the end with, you know, a tournament title on the line for each of those 2 weight classes, and to see very exciting welterweights, exciting light heavyweights, who I know the fans have been yearning to see. The fighters have sure been in our ear about wanting fights. So to be able to deliver that to them and to the fans, you know, it makes us really optimistic about, you know, the collision worthiness, if you will, of the December event.
Well, I know we've also got a couple of great featherweight fights on the docket as well, but the one name everyone's going to ask about, Antonio Plazabot. We had him on commentary for our last show. I unfortunately wasn't able to be there. He sat alongside Joe. He said, I'm coming back in December and I'm bringing hell with me. Is that still the case? Will the Croatian be featured at Glory Collision 8?
We are talking to him and some of the other heavyweights. Ideally, we find a way to get Plaza into the tournament. Ideally, we find a way to get some of the other fighters that lost and maybe even bring in some new blood. I think the fans have been asking for new fighters. We know what the fighters have given who have participated before. So with Robbie and Jeep's help, we're trying to come up with something very creative that will create a lot of curiosity and see some of the biggest fighter brands, if you will.
Well, another piece of good news about all of this is that now we've already laid our marker. We will be back at the beginning of 2026. To the fans watching right now, Can you give us a little taste or a little appetizer of what's to come? Shed some light on what Glory has planned for the new year.
Well, I think what I would say is, because there's a lot to figure out, is we heard the fighters and the fans loud and clear. They want to see other weight classes. We as an organization are going to really lean heavy into tournaments. That's one of the reasons we're doing these tournaments at the end of the year, to sort of continue to replant our marker that this is who we are. We're a tournament-based meritocracy type fight promotion. So with our objective of staying true to tournaments, trying to add in more fighters, i.e. more weight classes, already having a great roster of heavyweights, I think we can do something very compelling next year, which will check a lot of the boxes that maybe while we anticipated this year, we realized that maybe we were missing some really unique moments for fighters. So that's why next year, I think, we'll deliver on so many more levels than this year delivered.
Awesome. Can't wait. And I'll give you the final word, Marshall, to those who are considering showing up December 13th, Glory Collision 8. What's your message to those fans today?
It's going to be a historic event. Aside from being able to see two bouts where the wild card will be determined for the last heavyweight standing, we're going to have the world's best welterweights and light heavyweights competing in this tournament championship, and then other fights that Robbie and Jeep will work on that I think will blow people away. And at that time, we'll be announcing more news. You can expect an incredible event. The Helder Dome is always a big event for us. We put tons into production. It is the culmination of a great year's worth of work, and I think the fans will enjoy it, and we're looking forward to them coming out.
All right, looking forward to it myself. We'll see you December 13th at the Helder Dome, as they say there in Holland, for Glory Collision 8.